Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Of course, you already know where we going. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Liberating ourselves right now by changing the moment. That's how you change your past and your future. I want to speak on negative ions right quick. Just more of a briefing, because these type of situations or this type of information could be a whole 2-3 hours. I ain't gonna say that long, but at least an hour and a half, lecture, but I'm just gonna get in a few little points about negative ions. Matter of fact, negative ions are molecules that have gained or lost an electrical charge. You know what I'm saying? So pull out your science books, stuff like that. We're going back to school a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But which I got notes myself to kind of, brush up while I'm doing this. And basically, they are created in nature as air molecules break apart due to sunlight, radiation, and moving air and water, you know what I'm saying? So basically, negative ions is produced in nature. Starting off, you could kind of see that, you know what I'm saying? That negative ions is basically dealing with how can I say natural things that creates it, you know what I'm saying, in essence. Negative ions are good when you are around running water. It creates negative ions, and that's why a lot of sacred places have water fountains and stuff like that. So if you go to certain places, they got these water fountains, or you go to these little meditation places where you get your crystals, they may have a water fountain running, or some type of little fountain or something, that creates negative ions and helps to keep you in a calm mood, which I'm about to break down more what negative ions do. As a matter of fact, once the negative ions reach your bloodstream, they are believed to produce a biochemical reaction that increases the levels of the serotonin that's being produced in your body. You know what I'm saying? The serotonin is what, matter of fact, if you're familiar with St. John's wort, that's a good herb to check out, St. John's wort. As far as dealing with your mood or whatever, you can make a tea out of it or take it orally, but it produces serotonin, and serotonin is what the brain produces, and that happy, you know what I'm saying, when you're feeling happy. So basically, negative ions produce that biochemical reaction to produce serotonin. So that's why, when you're around these waterfalls, when you're around this water, you feel good, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another thing too, where waterfalls or out in nature, you know what I'm saying, you kind of feel that happiness or whatever because there's a lot of negative ions, you know what I'm saying. Matter of fact, negative ions basically increase the oxygen flow to the brain also. So when you're increasing the oxygen flow, that's giving you energy, them neurons snapping off, you know what I'm saying, creating a situation where you could, do some neuroplasticity, adding them new pathways or whatever, but that all helps, you know what I'm saying? Each and every little thing helps. As a matter of fact, that has to do with the feng shui of your crib also. The feng shui is the way the energy moves in your crib, When you step into your front door, the money center is to the farthest left, you know what I'm saying? The love and relationships farthest right. The knowledge center, as soon as you walk in your crib, right there to the left, That's just the ones I remember off my brain, but the negative ions being produced by little water fountains and stuff like that is what, creates those good vibes. So when you walk into somebody's crib and you're like, man, I'm just feeling good, I'm feeling energetic, I'm feeling the vibes, that's because in their environment they have some, something producing negative ions, that's creating that feeling for you. And that's another thing too, where you see how spirituality is tied to science. The main thing that the Freemasons and the 1%ers are trying to hide, that this is not science. Yes, you're dealing with your spirituality, dealing with getting back to sources of science. It's not just moralistic stories on you should act like this or behave like this, you know what I'm saying? There's also a science behind these things, you know what I'm saying? Which, like I say, that's the stuff that was hitting, the Da Vinci Code and all that crap. And also, when air hits any pyramid shape, no matter what it's made out of, it creates a negative ion. So just you got I got a shungite pyramid, which shungite is very, very useful for getting away, negative energy and protecting you from lower vibrations. But any pyramid shape create negative ions. It becomes like a generator, you know what I'm saying? And when light hits the crystal quartz pyramid, so if you have a crystal quartz pyramid, the negative excuse me, when light hits the crystal quartz pyramid, the negative ions amplify and project out in the four directions of the pyramid side. So, you know what I'm saying? So if you got like a four-sided pyramid, you know, made out of quartz, you know, as light hit it, you know, it's projecting those negative ions in those four directions. So, you know, so matter of fact, if you're trying to bring some good vibes to the room on that level, you would place a piece of crystal quartz pyramid in the middle of the room, you know what I'm saying, and let it flow out in all directions. But it's basically, you know, the science behind it. And also, matter of fact, if you ever notice, by being inside, whether it's a house or a car for too long or whatever, you know, you'll find yourself like that brain getting tired, you know, you're feeling like the vibe is getting lower, you know what I'm saying? But when you roll up a window or you go outside and get a fresh breath of air, it's like, oh, it's like, you know, you're back, like, you know what I'm saying? That's because, matter of fact, and which this is said to negate negative ions. It's said to take away negative ions, but I'm not, you know, it's new information to me, and I always like to keep it real about the information, you know, that I pick up on. But it says air conditioning, you know what I'm saying? Our air conditioners take away negative ions, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you got an air conditioner running in your, you know, in your environment, you want to make sure you also have, you know, your little fountain or, you know, little pyramid crystals or something, you know what I'm saying, to create some negative ions, or constantly, you know, open up a window or go outside to, you know, gain that oxygen. Because like I said, the negative ions increase the oxygen flow, and the oxygen, you know what I'm saying, all that, and also the prana life force energy, you know what I'm saying, that's what feeds the soul and the spirit, you know what I'm saying. Because in some cases, like the yogi at the end of Paramahansa Yogananda book, where she was just living off of the pranic energy that was being stored in her melanin center in her medulla, you know what I'm saying, oblongata, when you bring up that air, you know, it goes down up the spine and comes back up to that medulla area. And you can feel your medulla area charged up with that energy. And you can feed yourself off of the prana energy, you know, that's sitting in your medulla. But I don't want to get off subject. But I try to, you know, take every little thing of information and put it all together so you can see how all of this adds up, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what you're trying to do. I mean, hopefully that's what you're trying to do, is make all this spiritual stuff make sense. Like, well, why was the 7 seals of Solomon, or what's the 7 chakras, or why was this? Because it's, you know, trying to make it all make sense. You know, why the 1%ers don't want you to speak on certain things? Oh, because words are vibrations. You know what I'm saying? You start to see how it all adds up, you know? Like I said, matter of fact, and you see why, like, and also like being so waterfalls and beaches, and also after a thunderstorm, which made me think like, all right, so the collective consciousness, so, you know, like, matter of fact, we came out to California, you know what I'm saying, and it never rains in Southern California, but here it is, we come from Louisiana, and then as soon as we come, like, it's raining like for 3 days. We was in Ontario, California. It's like rain. I'm like, damn, like, where does rain come from? But then too, we thought about it, well, just in essence, where they needed water out here because of a drought, you know what I'm saying, also, but two, because of the negative ions that are produced after a thunderstorm. And I was like, damn, so maybe in some cases, you know, where we always personify that. Notice that we say this intuitively without putting it into spiritual thought or feeling like we are intuitive beings. But when we be like, oh man, I guess it rained to cleanse, you know, the earth, or this place needed this cleansing, you know, or like if you're a certain city, like, oh man, Opelousas needed this cleansing, you know, needed this rain, or such and such, we needed this rain, you know, to cleanse us, almost like washing away your sins, in essence, of being baptized in that water. But in essence, that thunderstorm coming, and after that thunderstorm is bringing negative ions that will help produce oxygen and produce serotonin to pick up people's mood. So it's a science behind it. So not only spiritually, you know, what you focus on and all this collectively grows. So if a lot of people in one area, you know, if things going bad, or a lot of prayers or affirmations going up to source, you know, source is going to produce off of the majority of the energy, wherever the majority of the energy is at, you know what I'm saying? So look at these thunderstorms in some cases like, hey, like, you know, like the collective consciousness asking for that. So that thunderstorm could bring through those negative ions to produce, you know what I'm saying, to produce the oxygen flow, to produce the serotonin, to put you in a happy mood, you know what I'm saying. And matter of fact, too, breaking down the Bible and stuff like that, like the book of John is the book of Ion, you know. Coincidence in a universe with no coincidences. That's another thing you start to understand. There are no coincidences in this universe. So when you're breaking down information, it seems like it ties up, you know, it's like, it's not a coincidence that it's all, and we are souls on a journey. So like Source is leaving little bread crumbs for us to remember our mission and remember what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And matter of fact, and when I talk about the weather, you know what I'm saying, like what a collective consciousness produced the weather, let's also not forget that we also have this thing called HAARP, you know what I'm saying, that does things also manufactured, but we don't give that no energy. We know we manifest our weather, you know what I'm saying? We the gods, not that HAARP shit, you know what I'm saying? We the people, you know. But I think that's basically it, you know what I'm saying? So you want to put like have like a crystal pyramid or any sort of type of pyramid, or like an Argonite pyramid also would be, you know, very ideal, you know what I'm saying? But especially like a Shungite pyramid or a crystal quartz pyramid, you know, amplify those negative ions, you know what I'm saying, to produce that, you know, that good vibe. Having a little waterfall in the crib, you know, they got them little like $30 waterfalls you could place in the crib, you know, to produce those ions to create a positive vibration, you know. But basically, you know, that's it. And like I say, reason why, you know, that we vibe so much in nature, you know, like, well, you could be a person from the city that your parents ain't never taught you about planting a seed or nothing like that. But the moment you really go in some real nature, you like fucking feel like you at home, like you want to strip butt naked and, you know what I'm saying, and create a fire, you know what I'm saying? Because that's that true essence for one anyway, you know what I'm saying? We are from Earth, you know, we wasn't born in a hospital, you know what I'm saying? Like, that somebody created that to take you away from your true being, you know what I'm saying? Make you dependent on those false vibrations, you know what I'm saying? It's really the real source, the real vibrations is in nature, you know? So that's why when you go to that waterfall or after that thunderstorm, you know, you feel those positive vibes, because that's those negative ions, you know what I'm saying, producing that, basically, you know? That's basically it. Yep, just, you know, like I say, pyramids, running water, so any type of little fountains or anything, you know, Argonite pyramids, like, just anything kind of be real with your natural in essence too, you know. So not just that, also like add things that's not just on the ion producing level, but like, you know, little house plants, you know what I'm saying? Put some little plants that could survive on the inside of your house, you know, produce that oxygen, you know, that life force. So you don't always have to run outside to get that energy, you know what I'm saying? But that's it on the negative ions, you know, just make sure you place yourself around these, and you see, that's the thing with you understand terminologies where it's negative as a charge and not negative, like, you know, like, so this is the only negative that I tell you to put yourself around, you know what I'm saying? It's probably the first time you ever heard me, you know, say put yourself around something that's negative. And yes, negative ions is the only negative thing that you should really, you know, that I know of at the moment, or that I remember. You know what I'm saying? Because I already have all this knowledge. I'm a soul just going through this life remembering all the things that I already know. You know what I'm saying? But negative ions is the only thing I advise you to put yourself around that's negative. Peace. Blessings. Happy now. Now is the vibrate. Oh. Not too far in the past and not too far in the future, man. Right now, man. Blessings. Be yourself. Live. Be. I am that I am. Peace.